Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you one tip to make your tracks sound better fast. Okay, so here we are. I haven't got a track in front of me yet. I will be writing a very short idea in a second, just so I can show you this tip. Now this tip is one of those things that once I show you, you go, yeah, you're kidding, right? Is this seriously a video? And I go, yes, it's seriously a video, because so many of you still don't understand the power this thing. This can change a very simple idea to a cinematic soundscape. It can transform one piano line to sound like the piano cue for a trailer. It can transform some strings from bad sounding samples to amazing sound beds. It's so powerful and so useful, and so many of you are still not using it to its fullest. I still don't, because I am a composer like you, and I am ultimately flawed. But this is why I'm doing this for you guys, because I want to show you the power of this tool and tip. Now, I'm going to tell you the tip, but I'm going to do this little sketch first. Now, I'm going to play this all in using a pencil, because I want to show you and to prove to you how you can take a relatively bad sounding idea written with a pencil all on the same velocities, and let's turn that off. There we go. So you can hear this relatively bad sounding idea and hear how it is transformed. And that's why I'm writing it like this. So, ultimately you go, well, if you play around with modulation and velocities and quantizing, it would sound much better. And yes, it would. But this is a very quick tip to take one idea and make it sound much better. So I'm going to stick to one of my favorite keys. It's either A minor or C major. Come on, let's be honest. Let's go. And I'm not even really thinking about this. I just want to have... I'm going to have a little chord stab on the piano here, and it's going to be an A5 in the left hand and an A minor in the right hand. So let's just... And I'm actually, although I said, keep all the velocities the same, I'm going to drop the velocity because I don't want to sound like a... There we go. And I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to put this on my pad. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to put this on my strings. Let's just put them up. There we go. And I'm going to take this low strings, and I'm going to pencil in a very simple ostinato. There we go. So I don't want it to be that long. Let's zoom in on this a little bit more. I'm just going to think, I want this to be relatively quick, so that's better. 16th, 8th notes. It's just going to be rocking between the C and the A minor. That's all it's going to be. Dun, 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 dun. Very common ostinato in trailer music. And again, although, actually, should I use marimba? No, I won't use marimba. I will actually use piano instead, because how many trailer composers are going to be using marimba these days, aside from me? Not many of you, let's be honest. I'm going to take that idea, and just develop it a little bit to a descending idea. That's better. There we go. Just drop the velocities a little bit. Okay, so I'm not focusing on making it sound human. I'm not thinking too much about what I'm doing. It's just an A minor chord with an added second in it. I'm going to move these guys and glue them together into a group, glue you together into a group. Okay, so I have my idea. And I'm going to start to develop it using this tool. Now here we go. This is where you slap your forehead. Reverb. Reverb is the tool to immediately transform your ideas into something amazing and cinematic. Again, don't hate me, guys, but it's so underused as a way to take a basically nothing idea, a single chord, and make it into a cue, make it into a trailer idea. So I'm just going to go chuck this into something humongoid. Indoor spaces. Let's go for the grand church. Make it mostly wet. EQ. Okay, in fact, I don't like the sound of that grand church. Let's go into dome. Take the dry out. Now the reason I'm taking the dry out is because I want the distance. That's what I want. I just want the distance. And I'm just using a reverb to give me a completely wet signal that's massive. Okay, and that's what the strings are doing. Let's just move that piano so then we phase in the ideas a bit. Now this one, the strings are already doing the thing I want them to do, which is like the distant pad. This is essentially, this is already drenched in reverb anyway. But, you know, let's have a little bit of fun with it. Again, guys, I'm not using any posh plugins. I'm using my Logic plugins because I want you to show you, yes, I have some expensive reverbs, but to be honest, I hardly ever use them because they drain my CPU. Because I have a very old computer. So here we go. Let's make it sound a little bit interesting, shall we? I would like to have a spring reverb, an amplifier spring. Why not? Let's see what that sounds like. Cool. A bit wonky. There we go. Job done. There we go. So this is where we can start to play around with reverb more. Now I'm just going to open up Albion because I think let's load up the close mics rather than the Decca tree so we can hear them. They don't sound as good now, do they? I mean, that's why Spitfire use air for that natural reverb, and that's why they sound so blooming good. Reverb Space Designer. Now again, I'm just going to chuck this into reverb. You've heard the track. I mean, it sounds kind of cool in and of itself, but I want this into a nice, slightly weird sounding reverb. So I'm just going to play around. It's the business. Job done. Right, let's put some more reverb on there. Admittedly, guys, you know, if I put reverb on every single channel of my 60 to 100 track queue, my computer would explode. So I don't always do this exact step, but what I'm trying to show you is, obviously I usually have some sends that I use instead. I'm trying to show you that the reverb makes the idea sound cinematic. So let me just put this onto an outdoor space. No, actually, outdoor space will be wrong. Big old church, mate. There we go. Now, again, something distant. I'm making them all sound distant because they sound in a room, they sound in a space. It sounds cinematic immediately because of the reverb. In fact, actually, let's it's a creative effect. It's not just a tool to mimic a space. It's a creative effect that you can use to make your track sound better. And I think this sounds much better. I mean, let's just... I'm going to change the instruments around so that you get an idea. So that, you know, admittedly I'm using Spitfire, so these are quite nice samples. If I what sample should I use? I know. Let's load up. Go into Contact and find some hoovering. Find some sounds that sound pretty average. That's the problem with having so nice. I mean, you know, so many nice samples to choose from. Actually, session strings. They sound pretty average, to be fair, don't they? Oh, well, they almost sound better than the Spitfire ones. It's embarrassing. Now let's load up something else that's a short sound. That's... In fact, let's load up Omnisphere and have some fun with Omnisphere. Again, for the reason being that I'm trying to show you that the idea was an A minor chord with an ostinato, right? And the sounds I didn't faff around for ages creating. I just chose some reverb to shape the sound. So let's go into keyboards and electric pianos, and I think this one sounds cool anyway. Bit loud. I just think that sounds so cool already. You know, this is the start of a trailer cue just because I used some reverb, guys. I penciled in the velocities. It's all the same velocities, but I used the reverb to shape the sounds that you're hearing. It's so useful. It can transform a relatively poor sounding sample to an amazing sounding sample. It can transform a relatively dull idea into something fascinating. And this is why reverb is just wonderful to play with. This is why we buy so many reverbs. This is why we have so many reverbs, because they are so useful. And when you're dealing with trailer music, you are dealing with huge landscapes, sweeping Hollywood films. You're dealing with, even the dark claustrophobic horror. You want to play around with the reverb to mimic that. You want to play around with it to make your sounds sound more interesting, to make them sound better. Now, if you're one of the ones that went, reverb, I really do hope that you've started to rethink that attitude, because reverb is so useful. It's an instrument itself. It's just fantastic. And this is why we use the reverb, not just to mimic a space, but to paint a better, more cinematic picture for our trailer cues. You know, it can be the difference between the editor hearing your cue and going, doesn't sound particularly great, or your editor going, wait, what is that? That sounds awesome. And it's the same, you're trying to capture somebody with a sound, and your reverb can help you do that so quickly. I mean, if I hadn't been talking, I would have knocked this one out in a matter of like a minute, which when you're dealing with trailer music is an incredible time saver. So if you liked the video, click like and subscribe to the channel, of course. If you want to learn more about trailer music and how to write trailer music, head on over to the Trailer Music School, where you can join the community, you can buy the courses, or you can sign up to the membership, where you get access to all the courses and a monthly call with myself, or at least check what it is at the moment. And otherwise, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I really do hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, guys.